Hello folks, it's the Grub back once again with another video here, and today we're going to be playing Hand of Fate. It's a fun little kind of deck builder, dungeon crawler, arena. Well, I guess, yeah, it's kind of like an arena kind of game because you don't fight other players, but when you do fight monsters in that, you do fight them in a setting area that's kind of limited in size, so kind of like an arena. And overall, just a fun game. I've played this quite a bit. I've not beaten it yet, but I have gotten down to, I think, the third to last card in the story mode. And I unlocked quite a bit in the endless modes. But I thought maybe today I'd share this because this is a fun game. It is available on Steam, and has the I have the first expansion pack with us. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're gonna meet the creepy old deck master.
One more for the game. Come, sit. You have passed the 13 gates. And you come to my table to play the game of life and death. Your stake is wagered. I refuse none who come here. Yet, I say, turn back. Back so soon? I knew you would not falter.
So this guy will talk a good bit. He talks randomly over us. But this is how he shuffles the cards, using magics. But yeah, like I said, these are kind of give you an idea of some of the cards you have here. Let's see, like here's a gain card, which gives you food. Looks like a piece of equipment. There's the Jack of Dust, which will be our first boss that we're going to play here. So this is actually going to give you a preview of what's going to be in the deck when we play, the locations. So let's go ahead and start, and we'll see how I'll explain as we go here.
The game begins. One lives and one dies. Let us see what you are made of.
So now that we got the deck all shuffled in, he's going to cut the deck into separate sections. He's going to cut it into... first off,
here is the first member of my court, the Jack of Dust. 12 in all must fall before you may challenge me.
So yes, this is going to be our first boss at the end of the dungeon. I call it dungeon, I guess card trails or map or whatever. But it's the Jack of Dust, and like I said, the boss character. All the monsters and bosses are named after, are kind of represented as like playing cards. I believe the Dust Suite is the spades, I think. I don't think it's cloves. I think it is spades, or clubs. I think it is spades. Down here, you'll see this on some cards. If you see this on a card, if you beat the card, pass its test, or answer it correctly, you'll gain coins, which will allow you to unlock new cards for that particular set. This right here is the basic beginner set, or the starter set.
Scared of returning to the fray.
And yes, if you don't move fast enough, he will taunt you. So here we have the Jack of Dust. The bandit leader is stronger and faster than most bandits encountered. He can become enraged, make powerful, unblockable attacks. He also inspires his followers to steal gold on each hit. In the ruins of an ancient temple, among the eternally shifting sand dunes, lives the mysterious leader of the desert bandits, infamous for his reign of terror over the spice caravans that have dared take their chance traveling through his domain. He rules as a king over a barren land. So we go ahead and we'll continue. And like I said, he will shuffle it again and shuffle it into certain decks. So here's the monsters, our locations and equipment.
Let the cards fall where they may.
And this is our map
We
card.
begin.
We always start here on a set of stairs or some sort of entrance. And not all maps will be linear, but since this is the first one, it will be linear. We have our equipment card, and we can bring up our
You can
inventory
always
here.
review your cards here.
And this kind of gives us an idea of what we have. So as you can see, we start out with a rusty axe, which does 20 damage. We have no other equipment here. And we start off with just some light armor, which just does basic light. This is our current card, which is Venture. As we get further along, we can actually unlock different modes that we can try. And I may try on some other modes here. This is our health. You always start out at 100 and 100, but that can increase or decrease depending upon certain cards you receive. Food. If each time you move through the dungeon, it costs 1 food to move to each different card. Sometimes you might get curses that might cost you more food, or sometimes you might get blessings that will not use food. And if you're damaged when you move, when you eat, you'll regain health. And you can also earn gold, which can be used to buy items in shops that you come across as you play. And so we'll go ahead and we'll move on to our first card here. The Twisted Canyon.
That first moment, that glinting weapon, the call to action, to adventure. Truly, there is nothing like it.
You see a weapon glinting in the sunlight, laying next to a skeleton at the bottom of the canyon. So what this is just kind of a general location card that gives you a chance to earn a weapon. Now all these are randomly set, so each time you play, so every starting game is always going to be a little bit different layout. It might be the same cards because it's a very limited number of cards you start out with. Occasionally you might get some rare cards in there. But this is going to be one of those where we have to choose. So we have the walls of the canyon are covered in thick vines, perfect for climbing. Do we climb down and retrieve the weapon, or leave it? Well, I want to climb down and retrieve it because I hope we get something better than a rusty axe. So here we go. We now have the choose section. As you see here, that's the...
Choose from these options.
You see we had 3 success options and 1 fail option, and they get shuffled. Now in these earlier stages, it shuffles slowly, and usually only 1 time, which makes it a little easier to pass it. Now I did lose where that was. Sometimes you can keep an eye on where it goes. I think it went here. I'm pretty sure this is a pass, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take this card. And it's actually, you see that one over there. So we were successful. Now if you fail, you could receive damage, or you just won't get the item, or you may not get the card unlock here. So as we go, very carefully you make your way to the bottom of the canyon. You retrieve the weapon from the ancient corpse. We draw 1 equipment card. What do we get? We get a sword that does 23 damage, which does 3 more damage than our rusty axe, so yes, we'll want to equip
A
that.
moment to savor. That will make you much more effective.
So as you can see here, we now have the sword, and when you equip items, it goes away. I don't think we actually have an inventory, at least I've not noticed in the past that we can swap things out as we go, but it might be just for certain items again. Like I said, I have played it quite a bit, but I've never really played around with the inventory system too much. So let's move on to our next card. Mr. Lionel.
I was never a fan of illusion or pretense. Here, I'll make an exception.
Whilst enjoying your evening meal at the local tavern, a strange old man takes the seat next to yours. He taps your shoulder quite painfully with his wooden staff to get your attention, and you notice that he appears to be a goblin, poorly disguised as a human. His wizened face grins at you with a hint of madness. My name is Mr. Lionel. If you give me what I need, boy, I will conjure up your heart's desire with this wizarding wand of my own creation. He cackles uncontrollably for a few moments, then sits patiently waiting for your answer. And so here we have a set of options that we can do. Now, the options that he will be successful options will change each time this comes up. So, you know, I may choose give bread now and it might be successful now. If I do it next time, it won't be. Then you can also just ask him what he needs, and sometimes that will be the successful one. Since I'm going to use the foreknowledge of my previous playthroughs and know that this is a short dungeon, and I believe if we give him the bread from our plate, we will lose a little food. I'm going to go with this, because we don't have the gold to give him. So let's try giving him a bread from our plate. He considers the bread seriously before placing it carefully into his coat pocket, seemingly satisfied. Mr. Lionel taps his staff on the ground, and the shield materializes at your feet. There you go, old bean! He smiles a warm grin and reveals all his chipped and yellowed teeth. Your face reminds me of my son. I haven't met you before, have I? Draw one equipment card. And of course, we'll draw a shield because that's what he gave us. Now sometimes when you draw the equipment card, if you get draw equipment or draw loot or food, it'll randomly pick it. But if it says specifically what it's going to give you, it'll give you specifically that. And this will give us tell us how we can reflect and counter by hitting the Q key. So we'll go ahead and continue. A shield. A shield provides passive damage mitigation. Press Q to reflect projectiles.
You can now reflect your opponent's ranged attacks using your shield. Make good use of this skill if you wish to survive.
So we will be able to now reflect and counter our attackers. And we have us a nice little shield. Then, before you can stop him, with inhuman speed, he snatches a pickled onion off your plate and sprints out the tavern door. So as you can see, we gave him bread, so that brought our food down by 1. And so we get to continue onward. The Maiden.
Fair Merith. I'm not surprised to find that this encounter remains vivid in your memories.
So yeah, basically, the premise is the cards represent our memories. Some, I guess maybe we've lost them. I've never quite beat the game, and I've not read anything ahead to spoil it. I don't know if maybe we're dead, and this is just where we're reliving our life before we pass on, or if we've just forgotten all our memories and we're playing this to regain our memories. So we have the Maiden here. One day in a shady forest, you encounter an elf maiden. She stops to greet you. I am Meredith of the Forest Folk. My people have long helped the mortals of this realm. What boon would you ask of me? So here we have an option. We can ask for a longer life, which would up our health possibly, or it may just give us additional health. But like I said, this is a starter. We don't have far to go. I'm not going to waste it on that. I'm not going to ask for supplies because I know this is going to be a short one. The first one is always short and linear. I am going to ask for gold, however, since we've not come across a merchant, and I know somewhere in this is going to be a merchant. There's always a merchant in the first one. As far as I'm aware, there's always been a merchant. So I'm going to ask for gold. Meredith seems surprised. It is unlike an adventurer to beg for coin, but very well, if it is what you wish. And the dealer draws 3 gold gain cards. So we'll get 3 random gold gain cards. So we're getting 25 gold. I'm
sure you're grateful for that.
15 on this one. And another 20 here. So that gives us 70 gold to play with. It is said that sharp-eyed adventurers may protect themselves from the worst of Lady Luck's contrary nature. Farewell, mortal. And we move on. And of course, this last one will be a staircase because, well, it's the last card on the list.
Once more, seeking the heart of it all.
And this is how you move between floors of the dungeon/map. You have discovered the exit to this area. Now you can turn back. Like I said, not all of these are going to be linear, so sometimes you may stumble upon the stairs before you're ready to go, in which case you'll want to turn back so you can go back and check them. Now keep in mind though, you have limited food. Now when your food runs out, you'll start losing health. So we'll go ahead and we'll take the stairs now since we are done with this area. You embark upon the next leg of your adventure. So he's going to deal with some
You're on
order.
the final floor of our simple map. Your opponent waits here for you. Find him.
So yes, you see, he calls it a map.
If you defeat me, well, it is early to be talking about victories and losses. Let us see what you're made of.
Yes, you shall see what I am made of. Made of flesh, bone, muscles.
An ambush. Hardly fair, is it?
Alright, so this is going to provide us with our first chance to see combat in the game here. We have the Winding Trail. Suddenly, a trio falls across your path, blocking the way ahead. The dealer draws one monster card. And so, when he draws the monster card, it'll be random. Most of them are usually geared towards the boss itself. So if you're playing something of dust, usually you'll get a lot of dust, which are going to be bandits and assassins and stuff like that. Occasionally you may get like bone, which will be some skeletons. It depends on what you've unlocked and what was shuffled into there. And there's different numbers. You can get all the way from 1 to, I believe, 10, because it should follow the deck suites. So here we have the options. We'll go ahead. Weapons bristle from the trees around you, their wielder's face obscured by the undergrowth. Give us your gold or die! We can either attack the cowardly band for daring to threaten you, or give them all our gold. Well, I don't want to give them all our gold. We just got a lot of gold. We shall attack them. Plus, you can see a chance for combat. You shout a battle cry and raise your weapon. The battle begins. Let's come into these little arena areas. Your character will be built based upon the cards that you have for equipment, and you'll see how he's, as the cards are added. So there's our character. We get our shield, our sword, and then our health. And there's our 3 here. 3 bandits.
You can now counter your opponent's attacks. Hit the counter button when you see the flashing indicator.
So these are our moves. And like I said, it kind of happens here in these little arena areas where we can fight. One thing you want to try and do is you want to try and build up a combo. If you can see down there by my sword, you see I have a combo going. As you build up your combo, you might actually start causing more damage. And now I just lost my combo because I missed. But regardless, he's dead. And so we have won this encounter. I search the bodies for loot and draw 3 gain cards. Now gain cards can be either health, food, gold, or equipment. And they're randomly drawn from the deck, from the game deck. So here I get to draw 3 from my armory, and I get to select 1 to keep. So let's see what we get here. Let's see, what does this do? Nah, it's only
the
same
most
as
fundamental symbol of might for an age.
And we already have the basic shield, so let's go ahead and take the Damocles, an artifact. This
a classical approach to dealing with crowds.
This lets us throw knives in 8 cardinal directions. So we'll go ahead and we will select that.
Artifacts provide powerful special abilities to use in combat, but it takes time to ready them.
But he said. So now we got some more food. We don't really need it for this dungeon. And we get to draw another piece of equipment. It's another shield.
I cannot expect you to get by without some protection.
Basically the same thing we got there. If we hadn't bumped into Mr. Lionel, that would have actually came in handy. Usually the first time you bump into Lionel within the map, if you answer correct, he'll give you a shield, which comes in handy. And it's not always just that basic shield. If you have one of the more advanced shields you can get through the game, he sometimes give you that. So let's go ahead and continue on here. The merchant. A traveling tinkerer. In a shady grove off the beaten trail, you find a traveling merchant looking to trade with wandering adventurers. The reason why I wanted to get the gold. Tinkerers sell items of all descriptions. Approach the shop. Greetings, wise traveler. I have much to offer you. Yes, let's see what you have to offer us. Now, there are different types
If you were wondering why you've been collecting all that gold, you now have your answer.
Yes,
We're starting to get into the meat of the game now. The back and forth between resources and rewards.
So as I was saying, there are different types of merchants, and depending upon the merchant type will depend on what they'll sell. I believe the tinker is more of your general merchant. But also if you're running out of food, almost all of them will sell food. items. Some will sell health increases where you can heal yourself. But let's take a look at what items they have to sell. So we can get ourselves the Explorer Helm, which right now is not really worth it for us. Just have the axe and the rusty axe, but this axe will do 25 damage versus our 23 from the sword.
A peasant's weapon, but effective nonetheless.
Yes, it is. So I think we'll go ahead and take it since it'll do an extra bit of damage. Even though, like I said, once again, starting out, it's really
choice.
Not all that important, as long as you just make sure you dodge. But later on it will be. I mean, I've been screwed playing it where I've not been able to get a good weapon. I start out with just my basic rusty shit piece right there. And I get to the boss and just get leveled because I was not able to upgrade my axe or upgrade my weapon. It can happen. You can get screwed in this game. Like I said, that's what makes it fun. It's challenging. Even on the basics easy setting, it can get challenging the higher you go. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll leave the shop here. We're done. We don't need anything else. And we'll move on here. See what else we pick up. Dead Man's Gorge.
I'm sure it's not called Dead Man's Gorge without reason.
While crossing the ancient rope bridge of Dead Man's Gorge, you hear sounds of movement from below. It's an ambush. So we draw a monster card. I see this time instead of 3, we just get 2 of dust. So we'll just be fighting 2 bandits. And so you'll actually see here when we build our character, instead of the sword, you'll actually get an axe. And if we actually had some armor, you would show different armor as well. And so if I press the 2 button here, as you can see, that just threw those Damocles things there. And just wrecked them. Like I said, these are early stages. The first one is almost always the easiest one. But we recover what we can from the dead. We draw 3 gain cards. Ooh, what do we get? Some equipment. Already have the axe.
Are you a woodsman turned warrior now?
Gain some extra food. More extra food. So we'll have plenty of food when we face Jack, which we're doing now.
You have reached my first champion. A good man driven to madness by a war that took all from him. Wife and child, kith and kin. From such dark and brittle iron I forge my tools. Now we see your metal.
So yes, now we're going to fight a boss. This is going to be the first time we fight something that we may not be able to counter. If you noticed in the previous fights, when you saw the little green flashes, when I press the Q button, I counter those. But if it's red, we need to roll out of the way. So let's go.
This token will unlock more cards if you can defeat this encounter.
So yes, there's those tokens I was talking about down here. If we beat them, we get this and it'll unlock new cards for us, expanding our available decks. So we'll have new places, possible new weapons, new enemies, new loot cards, new gain cards, and everything like that. So let's go ahead and go fight Jack of Dust. And we're going to be fighting 4 other bandits with him. Now, one of the strategies is you sometimes want to take out the main guy first.
Get out
because
of the way,
if not,
or stop them with
so
your own
see there, I wasn't able to block that. So I wanted to try and get out of the way. Lost my bonus. Alright, we've killed him. And everybody else, it seems. So when you killed him, you get his card.
Down into the worms with him. Perhaps there is peace for him in the grave, poor soul. One champion has been sent to the cabinet. Yet we are only at the start of our road. You will face 11 more opponents who will test your strength, your memories, and your resolve. Few fall at the first hurdle. None reach the last. We have wagered, and you have won. You may claim your rewards, yet I will also claim mine. As you improve, so do I. Balance must be retained.
As he says, like I said, it does get difficult the more further you go. But so here, we're going to go ahead and unlock our new cards since we defeated the Jack. As a reward for defeating the Bandit Jack, you receive these new cards. We have got the Jack of Skulls, which will be our next boss. Dead Man's Hall, or Dead King's Hall. Local Peasant. Devil's Choice. The River. And Captain of the Guard. We have also unlocked these new equipment cards for defeating the Bandit. And equipments are going to be in the red bags. So we have Medium Armor, Chains of Rage, the Mercenary Contract, Medium Armor again, Fortitude's Breath, and Desperate Measures. And finally, for defeating the Bandit Jack, we have a new challenge. And these are the challenge cards. These are the cards that usually go into your deck for pulling up the making the deck. And so we have the Bandit Attack as our new challenge.
Shall we deal again?
And so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. In the next episode, we'll explain the deck building aspect of the deck building type game. Like I said, this is just kind of an introduction and let you see the game in action. And taking down the first boss. Sorry, man, got a little bit of the hiccups there. So I'd like to go ahead and thank y'all for watching. Once again, my name has been The Grub. If you've enjoyed and you want to see more, please leave a comment below, like, subscribe. Also, check the links below. Go to our Patreon page there. Like I said, I'm still saying Praetorian. I don't know why. I've been doing that across multiple videos. Go to our Patreon page. If you at least donate $1, you'll see when I'm up. I'm working on recording a new series. I may ask what y'all might want to see me play, and I'll give a list of some of the games that I'm able to record from my Steam library. We might record new episodes of those. Also, you can check out the Twitter page, our Facebook page, and our Google Plus page, and you'll be updated when episodes are freshly updated or uploaded to the YouTubes. So until next time, y'all, take it easy. Say good bye-bye. Good luck. Bye-bye.